3 tips today that are going to help you. But what I want you to really remember this is that you can never say the wrong thing to the right person. And if somebody is going to get offended, somebody's going to get offended. But what I find a lot of times is that one person, maybe it's somebody that you respected, maybe it's somebody that, was really hard for you to actually, get an appointment with or talk to. And they said something that just really got into your head that now makes you pause and gets you maybe even tripped up about closing sales, right? This is something that's very common. If you feel that way, don't beat yourself up because it's a reality sometimes in sales. But I want to tell you, this is something that you don't want to focus on. Whatever you focus on grows in sales. And so I want you to be someone that is fearless, that you don't worry about whether somebody's going to say or yes or no. And if they say a no, guess what? It doesn't mean that that's a no all the time permanently. It just may mean that, look, you could have caught them on a bad day. They could have just had something happen to them. They maybe are just in a bad mood that day. Like, you can't just think that one time that you asked that person something and they said no means no forever. It doesn't mean that. It just means no right now. And so you can't be fearful of going back again and asking the question. I had this one time, this office, and it's a pretty funny story that I was in pharmaceutical sales and I was going into this office, and it had to do with the products that they were buying and they were purchasing, but they were actually purchasing the competitor product. And I knew that. It wasn't like it was a secret to me or anything like that. I knew that they were buying that. And they specifically told me, Lila, we are never going to buy this product, because they were frustrated with the company. Nothing that I did. They were just really frustrated with the company and they just wanted to keep using their own product. But I knew that they were part of my call history and I needed to see them regardless of their, like, I can't just say, okay, well, they're going to say no, so I'm never going to come back again. No, I kept going back and I kept going back. So one day I brought in my manager, and one of the doctors looks at my manager and he said, he's like, I have to give this girl credit. He goes, she comes here every 2 weeks or whatever, she comes every 2 weeks with a smile on her face, with the same information, and we still tell her no, and she just keeps coming back. And they're like, I don't know about you, but I would be done. I would just not come back anymore. I put my head between my legs and I'd walk out the door and I would never come back again. But she comes back. And what that did was it built this solid relationship with us. And, then when I went to go sell something that was new, that was not what those products were, they had already seen me a million times. They'd already told me no a million times, but I had something new now. And guess what? Now they wanted to listen to me because it wasn't the thing that was bugging them. It was something new, but I already had established this long relationship. And now they were more than willing to listen to me and literally try that product. So the more you're with somebody, the more they know that you're not going to let no beat you down, scare you away, take you away, never come back again, because they're still your customer and you still have to serve them. And you have to figure out what their needs are so that you can serve them well. And even though it's a no, right? It turned out months later down the road that it turned out to be a yes. So this is possible for you to happen. So the first thing I want you to remember is when somebody says no to you, I want you to reframe it, right? Think about the fact that it's not something personal, attack on you, has nothing to do specifically about you. Matter of fact, they even told me, hey, has nothing to do with you. I love you, but I really hate your company or whatever at the time, right? Which didn't make me feel good either. And of course, I wanted to figure out what that was so I could understand that and I could help them. Okay. So first of all, it's reframing, finding out what it is and realizing it's not about you, and think about it as, okay, this is just this thing. We've got to reframe it, what it is and what it's not, and let it be like Teflon and not let it bother you. Okay. The second thing is your self-talk. If you, like I said, let something like this beat at you, eat at you, and you're like, you're going to tiptoe into that office because you're afraid that somebody's going to hit you. Well, what good is that, right? That is not healthy for anything. And then you're going to be scared to go to another account because you're going to associate that account with this account because, oh, maybe their personalities are the same. And if he said no or she said no, well, I guess maybe that person is going to say no too, right? So don't do that. Don't associate with anything and stop having that negative self-talk and think about the positive things. And that the reality is when you're persistent and you keep going back and you keep going with a smile and you keep offering value and you keep having something else to bring that customer, you're going to win hands down. And the third and final thing is that I want you to be solution oriented on your customer and what you are doing in your business, right? Focus on your customer, their solution, their problems, not your problems, their problems. Like, for example, I knew that they hated our company. They were mad at them. I didn't focus on that. Matter of fact, what I try to do is try to figure out what are those things, right? So that I could address them with corporate coming next by side of me and helping them figure out what is it that you're so angry about that I can help you. Because look, when you uncover this, right? I always tell people this, when somebody is angry, okay, somebody's frustrated, what do we tend to do? We tend to think, oh, I scared them off. Oh, I made them upset, when it has nothing to do with you at all. So my biggest tip and biggest secret of all is for you to find out what is going on behind that anger, that frustration, right? Like I always tell people that when somebody's anger, there's three things, right? There's either anger, fear, frustration, or hurt. Fear, frustration, or hurt behind that anger. Fear, frustration, or hurt. Now you need to identify which one of those and then address that person with that language, right? Like, seems like you really got hurt last time when this happened to you, or it seems like you're kind of frustrated about something. What is that? What are you frustrated about? I know you like me, but what are you frustrated about? Because I promise you, when you can pull one of those three things out and address them and say, I understand you, I understand where you're coming from, and I'm going to help you resolve that, you will multiply your sales like crazy. So I hope these 3 tips helped you. And please follow and share for more. Invite your friends and anybody that is struggling with trying to close more sales, because it's not easy. And I'm here to help you out as well. Okay. And so I've got a free guide and I've got all kinds of things that I can provide to you that you may want to have a free guide to how to close more sales. So if that's you, put guide below. I'll make sure that you get that. And I will see you on the next time. Take care, everybody.